Hi, I'm AmeriCorps Vista Blake McCartney.
And I'm Jesuit volunteer Sam Davey.
We volunteer with the Maine Hunger Initiative at Preble Street. Maine Hunger Initiative is an anti-hunger advocacy program that aims to end hunger in Maine, increase access to nutritious foods, and USDA nutritional programs like SNAP. If you are not familiar, SNAP is also known as the Food Supplement Program and formerly known as food stamps.
In this video, recorded in the spring of 2018, we are going to tell you how to sign yourself or someone else up for SNAP. The SNAP, or Food Supplement Program, is administered by the Maine Department of Health and Human Services. In this video, we will refer to the Maine Department of Health and Human Services as the DHHS. So, let's start with how SNAP works. SNAP is an entitlement program, meaning that everyone who qualifies will receive the benefit. The monthly allotment is put onto an EBT card that works just like a debit card. The EBT card can be used at most grocery stores and many convenience stores. You can use SNAP benefits to buy any food item except for hot prepared foods. SNAP can also be used to buy food-producing plants and seeds. Most farmers markets also accept SNAP, and the Harvest Bucks program allows recipients to get a bonus for using EBT.
You might be wondering, who is eligible to receive SNAP? Would I be eligible?
Benefits are determined and calculated by who is in your household. A household means you and the people you eat and prepare food with. You do not have to be related to someone to have them in your household. For example, if you, your friend, and your children all prepare food and eat together, you are one household. Alternatively, if you live with roommates and do not prepare food together, you are in separate households. This chart is a rough eligibility guideline that is based off of gross income. In this case, gross income is your total take-home income after taxes. Your income includes money from cash benefits like retirement and SSI, or income earned from a job. People who fit into this chart and have a gross income below 185% of the federal poverty line are likely to qualify for SNAP benefits and should apply to find out.
If you are a citizen of the United States and you meet income eligibility requirements, you will qualify for SNAP. Many non-citizens also qualify for SNAP. Non-citizens must meet one of the descriptions listed here. You qualify for SNAP if you are a lawful permanent resident in the U.S. and have had that status for at least 5 years. You qualify if you are a lawful permanent resident of the U.S. for less than 5 years, but are also under 18, over 60, disabled, a victim of domestic violence, waiting for work authorization, or are in a military family. You qualify if you are a refugee, asylee, victim of trafficking, or have another less common immigration status. Finally, asylum seekers who are eligible for one of 4 hardship exemptions also qualify for SNAP. Those exemptions are waiting for work authorization, elderly, disabled, or a victim of domestic violence. If you have any questions about non-citizen eligibility for SNAP or other programs, see Maine Equal Justice Partners Eligibility Guide in our list of helpful links.
Now we will explain how to apply for SNAP.
There are 3 ways to apply for SNAP: in person, with a paper application, and online. We recommend using the online application if possible because it is the most efficient. See our list of helpful links for a link to the My Maine Connection website and for a list of all of the DHHS office locations in Maine. Please note that the paper application may ask you for a bank account number. You do not need to disclose your bank account number.
After applying, you may receive a letter from DHHS with an interview date. This is just a suggested date. The only requirement is that you interview with DHHS within 30 days of the day they receive your application. There is no exact scheduled interview date or time. If you do not hear from DHHS within 2 weeks of submitting your application, you should call to confirm your application was received and to request your phone interview. SNAP interviews can always be done over the phone. They do not need to happen in person. Again, remember that if you do not hear anything from the DHHS after submitting your application, you must call to request an interview.
After your interview, the DHHS caseworker will tell you what confirmation documents you need to submit. Make copies of the necessary documents and send them into the Farmington DHHS office by fax, email, or by mail. The next slide will give you a clear outline of how to appropriately submit all documents to the DHHS. You have 10 days to submit the proper verifications. This slide lists some examples of documentation that you might need to submit to verify your application. The DHHS asks you to submit this documentation so that they can calculate your net income. In this case, net income means how much you make after necessary expenses like rent, heat, and utilities are paid. The DHHS uses a special formula to calculate your benefits from a combination of your net and gross income. If you are over 60 or disabled and want to verify your medical expenses of over $35 per month, you can use the form in our list of helpful links.
Always submit documents to the Farmington DHHS office. Always include your Social Security number or client ID number with any documents you submit. Also, it is important to follow up by calling the DHHS to ensure that your documents were received and attached to your file.
Now that you know how to successfully apply and follow through with your SNAP application, we will explain some other important rules and regulations of Maine's SNAP program.
Adults without dependents who have assets over $5,000 do not qualify for SNAP. Primary vehicles, homes, and retirement savings are excluded from the asset test. However, retirement savings do count as income if you are currently drawing from them, so that is an important detail to keep in mind. Also, be aware that there are other assets that are excluded from the asset test. To see the complete list, look at our list of helpful links.
Maine also has a 3-month time limit to SNAP for adults between the ages of 18 and 49 who are not disabled, do not have dependents, and are not working. If you fit into this category, you will only receive SNAP benefits for 3 months in a 3-year period, until you provide proof to the DHHS that you are working, are enrolled in a job training program, or are volunteering the required number of hours at a qualified organization. We will go over some exemptions to this rule on the next slide.
Many people are exempt from the 3-month time limit and subsequent requirements. People who are mentally or physically unfit for employment, on disability, pregnant, caring for a child or other incapacitated person, or participating in a substance abuse treatment program are exempt. These people will need to send in verification of their exemptions to the DHHS. Check with your DHHS caseworker to find out how to verify your specific situation. Also, see our list of helpful links to find the form that certifies someone as physically or mentally unfit for employment. This form can be signed by a social worker or a medical provider.
If you are subject to the 3-month time limit and are not exempt by one of the conditions on the previous slide, these are the other ways that you can continue to receive SNAP beyond the 3 months. You can work at least 20 hours per week, participate in a job training program at least 20 hours per week, or you can volunteer at a qualified organization. The number of volunteer hours that one has to do is computed by dividing the monthly SNAP benefit by the federal minimum wage. So, if the person receives $192 per month, they would need to volunteer 27 hours per month. You will need to submit monthly verification of volunteering, job training, or work to the Farmington DHHS via mail, email, or fax. The next slide reminds you how to properly submit documents to the DHHS.
Always submit documents to the Farmington DHHS office. Always include your Social Security number or client ID number with any documents you submit. Also, it is important to follow up by calling DHHS to ensure that your documents were received and attached to your file. See our list of helpful links to find a form that is specifically meant to certify the 3-month time limit exemptions.
SNAP recipients may receive a letter from DHHS regarding Maine JobLink. JobLink is a website run by the Maine Department of Labor, and people are required to register with the website to meet the work registration requirement, or JobLink requirement. If you have a client or know someone who needs to sign up for JobLink, you should help them, as it can be a long application. If you do not receive a letter about JobLink, you should not worry about this requirement. The JobLink requirements are different than the 3-month time limit requirements. People who are exempt from the 3-month time limit may be subject to JobLink. The JobLink requirement applies to people who are as old as 59 instead of 49. This slide outlines a complete list of exemptions for the work registration or JobLink requirement. If you receive a notice to sign up for JobLink but believe you are exempt from the requirement, you can contact DHHS to find out how to confirm your exemption. Send proof of your exemption to the Farmington DHHS just as you would with any of your other confirmation documents. If SNAP recipients live in subsidized housing or any housing where they do not pay for heat, they must apply for the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, or LIHEAP, to receive the standard heat deduction and therefore maintain their maximum SNAP benefit. To apply for LIHEAP, you can contact your local CAP agency. Call 211 toll-free to find out who your local CAP agency is and who you should call to apply for LIHEAP. Tell the LIHEAP staff member that you speak with that you are applying for LIHEAP in order to receive a boost in your food stamps. They will understand what you are referring to and will give you directions on how to proceed with the LIHEAP application.
After successfully applying for LIHEAP to boost your SNAP, you will receive a $21 check from Maine State Housing Authority. You must send a copy of that check or some form of verification that you received LIHEAP to the DHHS. You can spend the $21 check however you would like. As always, be sure to follow up with the DHHS to ensure that the check has been received and filed and that you have received the boost in food stamps.
Lastly, we'll go over some tips and tricks for successfully signing up for SNAP. If you are helping someone else sign up for SNAP, you should obtain a DHHS release. That way, you can follow up with DHHS on their behalf and advocate for them. You will find a link to the DHHS release in our list of helpful links. Send in the release to the Farmington DHHS office as you would with any other document. Do the SNAP application online if you can and save the APP number. This number tracks your application, and a caseworker might ask you for it in order to easily locate your application. Call the DHHS and request a phone interview if you do not hear from them within 2 weeks. If possible, try calling DHHS right when they open at 8 a.m. Sometimes this can help with long wait times. Finally, if something doesn't seem right, advocate. If you think you might need legal help, you can contact Maine Equal Justice Partners. A link to their website and contact information can be found in our list of helpful links.
Thank you so much for watching, and do not hesitate to contact Maine Hunger Initiative at Preble Street if you have any questions or concerns.
Also, we'd like to thank everyone who is helping people sign up for SNAP, including the DHHS caseworkers, for their hard work signing people up for the benefits that they need every day. Thank you, and have a great day.